Sorry about that, everybody. But it shows it's real. Anyway, let's go. This one is one that you asked for. Now, yesterday, apologies again, huge bolt of lightning hit the house, knocked out the electricity. But we're back. So good to see everybody. And you guys should be able to hear me fine. Yes, so let's jump in. This is about smart contract wars. As you know, the key to be successful in investing is to have focus and depth. And the crypto space is extremely broad right now. And my focus since day one has always been DeFi, smart contracts, platforms beyond Bitcoin. So here we are. This is going to look at all of the SCPs, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and try to identify who the winner will be by looking at a whole bunch of different metrics. So let's just go and see what's in there. So first of all, math, money, freedom, and edutainment. You guys know the drill. So before I jump into the smart contracts platforms, though, I would like to talk about the market. And a lot of people are very nervous. Everybody's freaking out, as they always do. A little bit of red. Some things are down. Big today. We have Solana is down, Bitcoin is down under 45k, 46k was a critical support level, so we could be going to 43k. And, you know, September is always a bumpy month for Bitcoin, so not to worry, and it'll bring the rest of the crypto market with it. So there will be more good buying opportunities like we had on Tuesday, I reckon, sometime. But also, things could reverse over the weekend. Now, a few little bright spots you'll see there. Avalanche, Luna, etc. We'll be talking about some of those today as well. So that is the market. Now, in order to recap, Will Clemente put a beautiful little summary together of the week. And this is a curtailed version. But basically, for those who may have missed it, futures open interest was wiped out to the tune of $4.4 billion. Selling was done by the young coins. Long-term holders are unfazed as always. If you've been in this for a long time, you know, losing 3%, 6%, 10%, 12%, it's a nothing burger. Third, whales kept on buying. They bought another 45,000 Bitcoin this week. They bought the dip, and exchange supply is down another 25,000, 26,000 Bitcoins. Again, scarcity. Hash rate continues to rise. We covered that yesterday, the day before. And miners sold some Bitcoin, 467 Bitcoin, because they got to pay their bills. So it's totally understandable. So nobody freak out. Now, a little bit of other news as well. This was a cool tweet, considering we did touch on the fact that in the US, I don't know what happened in the rest of the world, but a lot of exchanges were down. I was in 3 of them at the same time. And I said yesterday and the day before that FTX worked really, really well. And here it is. Coinbase, Arrow 404, Gemini, lags, Kraken, order entry failed. Binance, full out broken. So, if in doubt and you want something, FTX. Now, there's a reason I mentioned FTX as well, because that's tied to one of the smart contract platforms, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. So, the big question is, who will take the throne? And when I speak of SCPs, they are smart contract platforms, layer 1 protocols, layer 1 blockchains, whatever you want to call them. I call them SCPs because that's really what they are. And we have a good idea as to who will take the throne, but there's a lot of players. So let's look at a lot of data and see what we can come up with. And I'd love your comments below as to what you believe will be the leader or the king or queen of the future. So Masari mapped out a smart contract market by market capitalization. You'll see a couple of things here. One, very clear that Ethereum dominance is waning. And Polkadot, Luna, and Solana are on the rise. That's basically a little bit from that chart. But there's more. Let's look at TVL. It's the key metric we look at, total value locked in smart contract platforms. You will see here the big change is BNB, Binance. Was up. It was very dominant April, May, and it's been waning ever since. I wonder if that's anything to do with the fact that their platform was out on Tuesday. Now, Ethereum is at a pivotal stage as well because on its scaling roadmap, it is struggling to deal with rising user demand. And that has opened up a window of opportunity to other players. And that's the crux of what this whole thing is about. So first of all, ETH 2.0, a lot of talk of it saving the day, etc. But it comes in different phases. And I covered the phases of Ethereum a week or so ago. I can't remember. Every day is a blur to me. But to the disappointment of many, however, the shipping of the shard chains is not expected until sometime in late 2022, according to Vitalik. And considering the sheer size of Ethereum's ecosystem, if it cannot fix this congestion problem, gas fee problem, it could prevent the whole crypto market from growing further. But however, people are sniffing out other ways to get stuff done. And at the moment, Ethereum supporters can only hope that these internal conflicts will get solved quickly. So that's important, because when something is weak, it gives opportunity to something else. But a little bit more in Ethereum, lackluster transaction growth. These are the Ethereum transactions over the last 5 years, and you will see the January 2018 peak is equivalent to exactly where we are now. So basically, we've been flat over the last 3-4 years, which is not a good sign at all. So that is a little bit disappointing. But let's check out some other metrics. Let's see what the TVL is doing for non-Ethereum chains. So here you see a couple of different lines. You've got your Solana TVL, Polygon TVL, FANTOM TVL, Terra, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain. The big yellow one, you can see Binance Smart Chain blew up in April and May, which corresponds to what we saw before in the previous graphic. But look at what's going parabolic over the last month or two. That is Solana. That's kind of the purpley line. It's a little bit hard to see on this black graph, but I put a little arrow there pointing to it so you could see. Again, another feather in the cap of Solana. So hopefully somebody somewhere is keeping a cheat sheet and will score things at the end, because I like to score stuff. So Staking King was flipped. A lot of the Cardano people always spoke about the 70+% staked on Cardano. That is unfortunately fallen now to about 69%. It used to be at 73% last month. Now it's 69%. And Solana is at 75.37%. Ethereum 6%, Luna 33%, Algorand 52%, Avalanche 59%, etc., etc. And just so you guys know, I own Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, Algorand, Avalanche. No, actually, no, I sold Avalanche. I forgot that. But that's the lay of the land so far. Now let's look at a little chart I put together. This is the top 20 smart contract platforms in terms of their gainers year to date. So the orange is the year to date percentage gain. You got the 90-day in green, 60-day in yellow, 30-day in red, and 7-day in blue. You'll see a couple of things pop out here. That's very interesting to note. First of all, Solana is the winner, and it's still growing, and it's growing time to time. The last 7 days have been a little bit weak, but that's okay. Everything needs a breather on occasion. FANTOM, number 2, but small. A lot of people have asked me to look into FANTOM, and we have, and we're going to take another hard look because of this type of data. The tokenomics are not perfect, but the protocol seems very interesting. MATIC is number 3, but they did all their growth early in the year and have been flat since. And Luna is number 4. Everybody loves Luna. And in full disclosure, you can't catch them all, and I didn't catch Luna, but I'm heavy on Solana, so it's good enough. I'd be kicking myself if I was stuck in something like, I don't know, Cardano or whatever. Then it wouldn't be good. So anyway, let's go and look at another graph I threw together. This is the top 20 smart contract platforms as a percentage of Ethereum. So here you can see that Cardano makes up about 20% of Ethereum's market cap. Solana is about 13%. POLKADOT is about 7%, 7.5%. Luna about 4%. Avalanche 3.5%. Algorand about the same. Algorand had a huge spike, a little bit of weakness today. MATIC, etc. All the way down the list to Kusama, which is a faster and growing sister chain of POLKADOT. And as you know, I like POLKADOT and Algorand and all those other names too as well. So that is kind of where we are in terms of those numbers to see where everything kind of stacks up. Now, let's look at something unrelated but also related. This is the Binance coin versus FTX token performance year to date. And you will see here that the FTX FTT token, which is tied to the Solana ecosystem coincidentally, the price has what's called NGU technology, which is number go up technology. And basically, compared to everything else, FTT token has been doing incredibly well, and it's beaten out Binance. So very interesting time to monitor all of these different dimensions. Let's look at another key thing. This is around the dev. It's very important to look at the development activity on all of these blockchains. This is the top blockchain development per GitHub activity. And you can see Cardano's number one now. It wasn't last month. And I watch this all the time. But of course, they've got a big launch getting ready for Sunday. So the developers have to be working their tails off to make sure it's successful. I'm sure they're under a lot of pressure, and I hope they get some rest. They're probably not going to, though. But good luck to all of those Cardano developers. And then you have Kusama, POLKADOT, Ethereum, Flow, and Solana down the line. So again, GitHub is an indicator. It's not necessarily a true status of exactly the amount of development that's going on, but it's a very good kind of canary in the mine to look at. Now let's look at some of our favorite statistics as well that we look at on top of that. We have the smart contract platform top 5 ranking by Key Metrics. So the first one is DDTV, which is the dApps daily transaction volume score. Number 1, Solana, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Number 2, Ethereum. 3, MATIC. 4, BNB. And number 5, Avalanche. This is important to know and look at. So we look at a whole bunch of different metrics, over 10, but these are just a glimpse at some of them across the top 20 smart contract platforms. In terms of the key metric, ADU, which is active daily users score, Solana number 1, Ethereum number 2, BNB number 3, MATIC number 4, and Luna number 5. Now these are benchmarked against the size of their ecosystems, not necessarily actual daily users, but it's a very good indicator. And number 3 is the key metric, which is DEC, what I call decentralization. And this covers the active validators. Again, Ethereum scores number 1, Cardano number 2, Algorand number 3, surprisingly, Avalanche number 4, and Solana number 5. So one of the weaknesses of Solana, they don't have a lot of external validators, but that's growing over time. Number 4 is TVL. The total value locked 10-year diluted TVL score. MATIC scores number 1, Flow number 2, Solana number 3, Cardano number 4, and XTZ number 5. And finally, the 5th set of metrics we're sharing with you. Of course, these are all part of a big model. We're just giving you a little glimpse on the inside. This is the MC TVL score, which is the market capitalization benchmarked against the total value locked. And here we have Flow number 1, MATIC number 2, Avalanche number 3, Solana number 4, and Cardano number 5. These just give you a little bit of a feel for how all of these protocols are very different. And it's very important to take all of these elements into account when you actually score and rank them. Now let's look at some more fun stuff. This is the total number of transactions per month. Now Solana is now processing over 2 billion transactions a month. This is compared to 35 million from Ethereum. Just think about that. Solana are doing 2 billion transactions and Ethereum is only doing 35 million. Then we also have Binance Smart Chain and MATIC. They're doing about 170 million transactions a month. So you can see the number of transactions from Ethereum is very poor, and the number of transactions from Solana far exceeds everything else because they have so many dApps running in so many different areas. And that is a big feather in the cap. Now, Layer 1 activity is heating up as well. This is a news release from Algorand. They set up a $330 million fund to help people come and build on their platform. So the fund is in the form of Algorand tokens to be handed out to potential projects that qualify. And it takes, I think the value of the 150 million ALGO today is about 334 million. Of course, a week ago it would be a lot less, but that's it. And not to be outdone, Harmony 1 is doing the same thing. They have allocated 300 million to a fund today to catch up. Again, this is like a huge nuclear arms race. Everybody needs to develop as quickly as possible to attract as many good projects to basically promote each blockchain. And everybody's figured that out. So that's that score. Now let's see what else we got. Google Trends, this one was a fun one today. True to the forecast, and interest over time metric on Google Trends, and these guys know what's up. Solana managed to surpass Ethereum twice during the last week. Once on September 7th and again on September 9th. And this is extremely impressive given the disparity between the number of dApps available, 400 versus Ethereum's 2,840 or something like that. So, it was like the Mike Tyson tweet the other day, what should I buy? Solana was one of the choices. So in conclusion, Went through a lot of stuff, a lot of data points, but we process it all together when we just determine exactly what to invest in and to share that information with you all. The conclusion here so far, and this whole place is a moving target, but let me walk you through some of our thoughts. 1, Ethereum is the king of the hill. Number 2, it has a very well-entrenched EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine, and it's tied into all DeFi. It has its fingers in everything. The future is a multi-chain world, however, and that could change things. The competitors are clearly chipping away at the large incumbent position that Ethereum has, and the market is large enough for many players. And the vision I see is layer 1 blockchains catering to bespoke needs, for example, running huge NFT marketplaces versus running stock markets, etc. So we'll see. Again, the market's worth trillions. Ethereum is the incumbent. They have the first mover advantage and the network effect. However, what I always say as well is this. All roads lead to maybe something else in the future. Could be different. We'll be monitoring this very carefully. The adoption, however, and the transactions and the TVL and all of those other metrics are all pointing right now in one direction. Ethereum better get a move on, because my other thesis from May when I did the Solana review was it could definitely be worth 20% of Ethereum's market cap. After going through all this data, I am more convinced of that than ever before. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to open this up to Q&A. And by the way, I hope there's no thunderstorm like yesterday. So, and I hope everybody's doing good. Friday, favorite day of the week, because tomorrow is Quickie. Which is a new segment which people love too. Very short, under 10 minutes, ton of data, real fast. So let's go. Let's see what's going on in the questions. And a big thank you to the moderators in there, like New York and K8, and helping all of this as well. And I got to all the questions as well that I missed yesterday because of the outage. So there's a video earlier if you're looking for it, and I answered those questions. So Luke Broyle, see you again. How are you? You mentioned the Q&A that you have some Sol earning interest in a wallet, but most on exchanges. Aren't exchanges very risky compared to wallets? Well, right now, I have my Sol on 2 different exchanges, and I'm not that concerned because I'm testing out my Exodus wallet situation, but I'm not moving everything there yet. So we'll see. But you're right, you shouldn't have more than $250,000, $500,000 on an exchange, and definitely one crypto. But I'm with the 2 of the biggest and safest and most secure exchanges right now, so I'm not that concerned. Steve Pat, your thoughts on the future of Filecoin and Litecoin, please. Litecoin, I don't like. Filecoin, I kind of like, but it's a very crowded space, and I believe there's much more growth potential being part of these smart contract platforms, and that's one of the reasons why we place so much focus on them. So that's my thought regarding Filecoin. So hope that helps. And if you look at the history and the performance and compare it to the performance of these smart contract platforms, I mean, just look at the market size they're going after. It's just way bigger. So definitely. And in fact, I know as people, like, even if you look at the market, it's very weak, but on occasion over the last 24 hours, Solana did dip under 170. So anybody who has no Solana, put in a small limit order at 171. Not financial advice, but it might get a hit over the weekend. We expect more bumpiness. Again, September is always a bumpy month. Max Alto, it's always the usual suspects. You guys are always so kind. Are you concerned at all about some of the chatter about Ethereum platform broken? Could the DJs chatter? What do you think? Exactly. So there's been so much chatter about Cardano being broken. Now Ethereum is definitely not scaling. It has a lot of problems. And you have other platforms humming. So going through everything that I just went through, basically what I think, if I was a Vitalik Buterin, I would bring in more layer 2s for scaling, like Polygon, and just open up everything and have them basically bring things like sharding to the platform earlier as much as possible, because that really needs to get fixed fast. But as you know, I get a little bit impatient when I see lack of performance. EIP 1559 was a success, but it didn't solve the scaling issue. Chappie, can you plug WAN into your token analyzer? Let me see if I've got to find it first. See how big it is. Better be in the top 300. One chain. I've heard of that one before. And let me see. Number 287. I just made it in. It doesn't ring a bell, though, that we've crunched it. Oh, it is. Yeah, BB. So it's in the bottom 55 percentile. Not in the top third where we like to play. So that is one chain. It was in there. And when I did it, it was ranked, still ranked 279. It hasn't moved. It's been very stable. Bonsai Tree, I'm jumping in on your retire on stocks, the channel we don't speak of. You guys are so smart. Should I get NVIDIA now, even though above your price point? I have a target price for NVIDIA at about 201. If there is a market correction, we should hit that. We're about $20, $25 away last time I remember. I've got about 100 charts in my head, so I'm just going from memory here. But Bonsai Tree, that is a key own. It's one of the things, again, I say you can't catch them all. I think that's some Pokemon game or something. But because I used the phrase, but then somebody said that's from something else. So I don't know, it's from something. But I have, I believe, a lot of winners in my stable, but that is one I want to own and hope it gets weak. So we'll see. Sean Lazito, will you explain the pros and cons of Quant? It has a couple of things going for it, and everything is in positives and negatives. So inflation is not too much of a problem. Project is a little bit centralized. Inside is okay. Circulating percent is okay, but there are some things that are different to others, and that is kind of the team, the background of the project, and from our crypto compendium perspective, it actually scored quite well in the top 20 percentile. But from other things, turned me off, and I don't remember exactly what it was. But I've been looking at it. I look at it every 2 weeks. I come back and look at it, especially when it's beaten down. And should I buy? And I don't want to give you the wrong information. And I got so much in my head right now. I don't know, but I will find out the reason that I am turned off from it and that I didn't buy. Preeta Joseph, where can you buy Avalanche, Luna, and Airweave in the US? I buy Avalanche on Voyager, and you can get Luna and Airweave on FTX. I think you can get them on Coinbase Pro as well. And also stick with the biggest and best exchanges. I find them to be the best. Bonsai Tree, are you still bullish in Engine Coin? Yeah, that's my small way of playing the whole gaming NFT space, and it's the leader in that space. So just so I have a little toe in the water in case it does blow up. But I bought it for $1 a couple of times, and waiting and seeing. I think it's like 160, 170 now. So I don't expect, it's a very small bag. It's not something that I expected to do great things, but it's 165. But we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I just buy a small bag just to have it kind of for fun. Alexander Fu, how are you? I bought 50 Sol at 140, but my biggest bag by far is MATIC. I saw your MATIC video. Can you please give a conservative and ambitious prediction for the bull market? So I actually just reduced my MATIC price prediction down because it hasn't moved so far. But everything, it's just one of those ones that nags at me. I know it's going to pop. I just don't know when. It's definitely going to hit $2. That might be disappointing to many. And I think it could be a 250 to 3. But I did revise my price prediction downwards on that one. I think it has so much potential. Every single metric it has going for it is extremely positive. I just wish the Ethereum guys could just open up their doors a little bit more and give them more power and control and help them solve the problems that Ethereum has, because they can, and they have in many instances. And that would be a true symbiotic relationship. So SpongeBob from Denmark, how are you? Hodengode. Like everybody else, I'm looking for the next Solana, and I recently discovered a project called ELF. They seem to be picking up some steam on the SCP. Thoughts? They're not the top 20 SCPs because we've analyzed the top 20. Let me just have a quick look and find out where they rank. And the thing is, in order to pull off a really good smart contract platform, you need a lot of money and scale. And right now, these guys, let number 133. Circulating supply. There's a few pros and cons of it. I will have a look because let's look at the chart as well. Oh, the chart's on fire. So it's already doubled. Whoa, it's 10x'd over the past, since May. The problem with these types of things is it's too late to chase. I'll have a look and dig into it. Let me see if I have it in the compendium as well. It should be because it's ranked in the top 200. BB, yeah, there's a couple of red flags, like bottom 50th percentile. So not perfect, but SpongeBob, we will check that out. Your favorite Finn from Finland. All the Europeans are here. I thought you guys would be in bed. Thoughts on potential solar storm sending us back to the Stone Age. Their chance to adopt an otter. We will check out some otters. Thank you for that. There's a long list of things we need to take care of, but I don't think we ever heard of an otter. Now, solar storm, the people have been talking about that for 20, 30 years, that a flare could knock things out. I have first-hand experience of losing power yesterday. Felt like a caveman for 6 hours. So it is kind of shocking when you have nothing. You can't do anything, even it's very bizarre. But I'll check on the solar storm thing, and we'll check on the other thing as well. But I'm not that concerned. And the grids are capable of taking those type of big hits, unless they're really, really heavy. HFFM, any thoughts on Harmony One and its recent price action? Yeah, Harmony One we've looked at many, many times. I know that it really did not score well in the compendium, the crypto compendium we have. It has a bunch of issues, and also there's just, when you look at Harmony One compared to the other smart contract platforms, the 20 of them, it's in the bottom half. It doesn't even get up to the top. So I'd much prefer, despite the price, is being in things like Avalanche, POLKADOT, MATIC, Kusama, of course Solana. That's where I would go right now instead. So hope that helps you. And Cod Fuel. I have a large bag of Bitcoin. I don't need the money now. Should I sell it as it approaches the top around 100K or hold for the long term? Right now, it's so difficult. People get negative. I've had so many requests over the last 24 hours. Oh, should I exit? Should I sell? This is the top of the bull market, etc. No, I think we have a long way to go. September always sucks. The average loss of Bitcoin in September historically is always 8%. And just expect it to be a bumpy month. But sometimes before a big move, we need to wait. So in terms of where the top is, I don't know where or when, but I do know we have at least 3 months to go. And watch this space. In terms of selling Bitcoin at the top, people, if they really need the money, they could, but I would hate for something to happen. If Bitcoin hits 100,000 and then people dump their bags and they say, I'm going to buy back in at 30,000 again. And then it goes to 200,000. That would be the sad thing. And that is quite probable. So we'll be monitoring very carefully how much is left on exchanges. There will, of course, always be manipulation, but we just need to be careful. So Robin Decline, what's your opinion about Coty and Moonriver? Moonriver, looking into Coty, I can't remember. I know I looked at them all, but it didn't really score as well. Bottom 50th percentile, really bad compendium score, bottom 30th percentile. And Moonriver, I know we haven't done a deep dive into it, but I know a lot of YouTubers are talking about it, hoping it'll be that 10x gem. But I think there's better players right now, to be honest. We drink some kombucha, not alcohol. And thank you for your donation as well. Hilarion Castro, listening while moving around work. Be careful, hope you're not operating dangerous machinery. Peter Joseph, Robin Decline, Stephen, your daily reminder, you're still sleeping on Elrond as a smart contract platform. Analyzed it, didn't score well in our models, and our models are purely quant, so it has pros and cons, but there's better platforms per our models. So Stephen, we'll look again. We'll look again. Right now, I'm just going all in on Solana. That's, why increase exposure to 10 other platforms? I'd much rather find the winning horse and just go hard on it. And that's what I've done. And Nick Johnson, thank you for that too. Dynair, what are your thoughts on Step Finance? Thanks to you, I bought and sold at $40. Good job, Dynair. Let me see Step Finance. And whenever I come in here, Step Finance, let me have a quick look. Number 1210. I don't look outside the top 300, and that's number 1200. So, deepest apologies. Looking at it right now, though, it looks like complete garbage. Bad tokenomics, bad data, bad metrics. Wouldn't touch it with a 40-foot pole. Ryan Mackey. I love Solana, but worry about the founder and VC ownership of 48%. Are you concerned about the possible rug pull? No, I'm not. Not with these types of founders. This is Andreessen and Sam and all the top names. They have more money than God. They don't need to rug pull. The only people that rug pull are scumbags that need to steal from other people. These guys are about global domination. So no fear on that, Ryan, at all. And the fact that the way they are structured, I remember when I did my review, we looked at everything in great detail. We were very aware that the tokenomics were far from perfect, but what we're interested in is the platform and the market size and their leading space and their leading technology and the adoption and everything else. And we're seeing now how it's actually coming to fruition. So no rug pull. Don't worry about that at all. Ryan Watson, thoughts on Zill? I like Zilliqa. I have a small bag and it's a good platform, but it wouldn't be one of my top 10 big positions. So it's one of those ones that I have as a speculative investment alongside a little VeChain, little Chiliz, and a little Engine Coin. So it's one of the, I got my big 10 and then I have my tertiary positions. So I hope that makes sense. Justice for All. And Zill is one of those, and I only have room for 5 in that stable. Justice for All. Any suggestions on XRP and how to exchange it? I'm a long hodler and want to exchange, but looking to keep safe SEC from SEC trading regs, etc. Yeah, a lot of people had a lot of messages about people wanting to dump their XRP, but they can't. The only way to do it is to move it to a wallet and then trade it on something like an exchange where you can, a true decentralized exchange, and swap it for something else, swap it for USDC, and then move that back to exchange and buy something with it. But it's hard to get rid of. And that's just XRP. I hope I don't get any hate from the XRP army. I actually covered, I think, how to get rid of XRP in a video about a week ago. It was a Q&A question. Last Sunday's Q&A, I covered it. J Ram, how are you, sir? Found a Zoom call on the internet of bank I work for. Board meeting with NYDIG discussing BTC services for our bank clients plus buying BTC for the bank itself. Feels great to be on the right side. Oh my God, that's a great story, J Ram. And I know where you're based, and I think I know which bank it is. So yeah, NYDIG are working with the top 300 banks, the real movers and shakers. And that's just fantastic because I see the future of traditional banking. There'll be 2 types of banks. There'll be the ones that are bleeding to death and dying, and there'll be ones that adopted crypto. And that's just the nature of the beast. And you are on the right side, so congratulations. And Jack went all in on Engine at 3 cents in 2017. Good job. A few K turned into life-changing wealth. I don't want to take profits because tax at the current price, but since it is a higher potential, what would you do? I'd start selling Engine at $2 and layering into other life changers, because the upside for Engine is, you've already done incredibly well. So I would, I love hearing those stories. That's fantastic. And you only have you have long-term capital gains because you've had it since 2017. So the taxes shouldn't be that bad, depending on where you are. If it's in the US, I assume it shouldn't be that onerous. And maybe you've got some losses you made somewhere else that you could offset as well. Celius, thoughts on Solflare wallet for storing and staking Sol? I use Exodus, so I don't use Solflare, but I heard it's up and coming. I just like the simplicity of the Exodus wallet. I can have a look into the best ways to stake Solana, because so many people do it. That could be a good idea for a video. So thank you for the suggestion, but I don't have first-hand experience with Solflare, I'm afraid. Contra Coop, thoughts on Cody? There are not enough payment layer retail front plays out there. Yeah, we had a look at Cody, and let me have a quick look again. Oh, yeah, terrible score in the compendium. Really bad. Scored at 3.3 out of 10. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there definitely aren't enough payment layers, but there's a lot of money going into that. I know the Andreessen Horowitz VC firm is funding a lot of payment layer type protocol businesses, and I guarantee you there'll be better structure than Cody going forward. So I would be careful there. MT having trouble getting money into FTX US via ACH. No issues with any of the exchanges. Any ideas why? ACH in there a lot. I never have a problem. They do have a cap. Always, if you're moving large amounts of money, I think the cap on ACH for FTX is about 5K. But if you're moving large amounts of money, like anything more than that, do a wire. Spend the $10. It's well worth it. The only reason there's a problem getting money onto FTX is because of your bank. There should not be a problem with FTX unless, of course, you don't have the right account information. So check that out. You can also print off your wiring instructions from the FTX platform itself pretty easily. Michael Farrell, should we continue to hold the torch for Aave? I think so. Aave is getting a little bit of a headache right now because of the whole regulation situation, but they are outside the US, so they're pretty safe. I think that there'll come a time when the regulators would just say some stuff they just can't control. So I'm not too concerned about that at all. I still hold Aave. In fact, let's see what it's doing. I know it's close to 300 today, which is the price at which I would actually get some more. Give me 1 second. 311. Haha, close. But yeah, very weak holding. Target remains $600 for the year end, though, for me, for Aave. So let me see. Bruce Lawrence. I have to disagree. Staking percentage might have changed the king, but the fact is nobody stakes more value than Cardano. I'm calling BS in that research. Still, everybody, staking percentage changed, but the fact value, yes. Of course, value is correct. I didn't say value. I looked at percentages. And by the way, that screenshot that I pulled came from the web, not mine. But it's true. And it did tip over Cardano. So the percentage of Cardano staked also fell from 73 to 69. And that is a fact too. So Bruce, thank you for trying to correct me, but I'm very anal retentive about making sure all the data I push out there is real. Because if you make a mistake on the interweb, the YouTubers will excoriate you and drag you over the coals. So you got to be very careful what you put out there. I love you too, buddy. Thanks, Bruce. Sarah Leiter, do you ever run the wheel to get into positions for your option plays? I'm not too sure what the run the wheel means. I've never heard of that. Maybe it's a term I don't know, but and I thought I knew all the terms. But no, it's like run the wheel is like a gamble or something. Sorry, let me see what I can find out what that means. Maybe Google can tell me. Option strategy. Hang on a second. I tend to stick. Is that like you build a portfolio by selling puts? I used to sell a lot of puts. I sold so many puts last year on Shopify, you wouldn't believe. And I love selling puts. So yes, I just didn't know that term. But yeah, sell puts. But the problem is I only really invest in very disruptive stocks, which tend to move very fast. And put selling against disruptive stocks doesn't work very well because you never get to own them. They always run higher. So it doesn't work. Mark Lowen, do you have a set system to decide where to take profits on the way up in each altcoin, i.e. fibs? Yes, we are building a refined model which will be per crypto. It'll be tied to the risk tolerance of the investor, the cost basis of getting into the asset, TA, to identify the optimal levels of which you can exit. So that's all coming. Not sharing it yet because I don't want people to panic and start selling too early. but that's ready and that's in the pipe, and that will be there, and we'll have one for all of our top cryptos we watch. And for a few, we may not be selling at all because they're just so good. So we'll see. Let me see. Joey C, 4100. Did well on ADA during the run-up. Took some profits and bought some BTC Sol ETH Link in this dip. A good move. Yes. Right now, just from what we've seen, it looks like the smart contract platform market is incredibly competitive. And so much talk right now, like the stuff I've been saying for months and months, and now everybody else is starting to say something similar. We'll see. Sunday will be very interesting to see what happens with Alonzo, how successful it is. I've heard a lot of positive. I've heard a lot of negative. I've heard a lot of lack of user friendliness. I've heard a lot of bugs. I've heard a lot of scalability issues. But we'll see. Maybe it's all just the haters just want to hate on Charles. But we'll know a lot next week. If it's real or not. But either way, the funny thing is, there's a lot of other stuff out there that is real and is working today. And Cardano has to play catch up. So I wouldn't want to be in their position right now. It's a very, very competitive space. Alpha Jester holding VeChain, Atom and Algorand. Thinking about moving some of those to Sol, but I'm concerned Sol has already moved. And the others are yet to take off. So Algorand took off and fell back. I could nearly hit my price target for the bull run. Atom, I don't follow. It doesn't have the tokenomics that I like. It's not one of the leading smart contract platforms. And VeChain, I think it has limited upside, maybe 33 cents this bull run. So everything I look at and everything that I just said in this video of King of the Hill for smart contract platforms, I get more convinced every day that Solana is going to take a big chunk out of VeChain, and some of the other key players will start, winning some areas too. So it all depends on the use case. And ultimately, 3 years from now, there'll be blockchains for very specific use cases like tokenization of stock markets, like stablecoins, like NFTs, and then they'll have winners, and there'll be one super blockchain that will just do it all as well. And that could be Solana. It could be the ETH killer that people say, but everything depends on Ethereum. And even if Ethereum doesn't succeed with ETH 2.0, it's going to take a long time for them to get it out the door. During that time, people are going to start eating market share away from them. And that's just a foregone conclusion. Thanks to your donation as well. Global Party People. Hey, thank you, James E. Rock. Hugs and Snacks for Hope. Wonderful. And Nick Pate. Milkweed. Appreciate everything you do. Dragonfire. Black to Burn. Philip. ADA needs good juju for September 12th. Yes, I have a bag of ADA. I just checked out my ratio of Solana to ADA today, and it's like 23 or 26 times the size. So I speak with my wallet. I don't get emotional. And all the decisions we make are driven by data. I don't love or hate anything. So I shouldn't say that. I don't hate anything is what I should say. I do love some things. Brokeback Vegan, you're so kind. And for all you do and more animals, there will be Tunas on X Toast. Thank you as well. And Mikalo Pasica, Henry Bailey, and Mike Mancuso. And thanks for your donation as well. MT DJ Jake 78, below the average village idiot. These names are hilarious. Richard Son and Jeff Hamburg. It's always the same people that contribute every single day, and you're making a difference. It's very touching. Going to leave you guys there. Well, I have one quick glimpse at the market and see if there has been any move or any bottoms. So in terms of where Bitcoin is right now, that 44,000 level looks like a support level, interim support level for now. I still think we might breach down to 43K. In terms of Ethereum, that's just been sucking wind all day. Again, bouncing nicely off the 3150. And Solana, week 2, but it has that weird ascending higher lows, and again, if anybody's shopping for Solana, anything under 171 is a bargain. So that's it. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.